Welcome into a special edition of A to Z Sports as we are off from being live this week, but we're still giving you what you want. We're going through the state of blank this week, and we'll be back live next Monday for SEC Media Days. We've done State of the SEC, we did State of American Pro Sports, and today, State of the Tennessee Volunteers Football Program.
Yes, that is right. Do not forget to share this show, share this broadcast to all of your friends. They may be Vol fans. We want them to watch this video.
Let's get it going. Welcome into A to Z Sports. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Follow us on Twitter at A to Z Sports. Like us on Facebook at A to Z Sports Nashville. We are Nashville's on-demand sports talk show, and we go live weekday mornings at 8. Gotta thank our presenting sponsors. They are Hotsy Nashville, the number one name in pressure washing. They take it all off. They spray stronger and last longer. Whether it's your house, your deck, your pool deck, your driveway, or your car, or your business, Hotsy of Nashville.com has you covered. Also, Hyundai of Cool Springs, that's the place you should get your next car. They're actually driving us down to SEC Media Days next week in Birmingham, and great people all around, from the front office to the sales floor to the mechanics and technicians. Also can help you out and find the right car for you, whether it's the Hyundai brand or the luxury Genesis brand. Hyundai of CoolSprings.com is where you need to go. The Extra Point is presented by Corner Pub in Brentwood. That'll be up on our website, A to Z Sports Nashville.com. Later on today, Zach, state of the Tennessee Vols football program in 2017. What do you have?
I think they are in a state of flux. Okay. That is the word I'm going to use. I'm going to define that word by typing into Google and reading you the definition, because I think Webster can do it better than I can to define state of flux. Sure. But I think this is where the Tennessee program is. The noun flux describes something that is constantly changing. In a constant state of flux means that a state of uncertainty about what should be done, usually following some important event. That event was the hiring of John Currie, the new athletic director. I think the constantly changing is the flip of roster from last year and all the players like Jalen.
And the flip of coaching staff, too.
And coaching staff. But I'm talking Josh Dobbs is gone, Derek Barnett is gone, Jalen Hurd is gone, Alvin Kamara is gone. The list goes on and on. That is a state of flux. So that's where I think that the Tennessee program is.
I like that. I like the uncertainty part of it. And
because I'm right.
That it follows a certain event. But I'm going to change that event for you. It's not necessarily the hiring of John Currie. That was going to happen. We already knew that. The event that changed and created the uncertainty for Tennessee.
I'm going to stop you right there, because it did matter for John Currie. Because if Philip Fulmer were getting hired, it's a completely different state.
All right, but anyway, John Currie got hired. Philip Fulmer wasn't getting hired. But the event that made this uncertain is the fact that Tennessee lost to Vanderbilt on the last regular season game of the year last year. If Butch Jones beats Vanderbilt, now he goes to a Sugar Bowl, and now his athletic director, John Currie, Philip Fulmer, whoever, David Blackburn, whoever that would be like, I can't get rid of a coach a year after he went to the Sugar Bowl. So the event that created the uncertainty was the loss to Vanderbilt, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it was the hiring of John Currie, of how everything is ratcheted up this year for Butch Jones.
No, it definitely is. But so you say flux. I'm going to go with boom or bust, because I think the loss to Vanderbilt, the hiring of John Currie, the no Sugar Bowl thing, all that goes into so much pressure on Butch Jones this season. Obviously, we both agree on that. I think it's a boom or bust. It could go, if the Vols go 8-4, then Butch is going to hang around. If it's a bust year this year, then Tennessee football is starting completely over with a new head coach.
I think we've discussed in the past of what the bust means for Tennessee and this season. I think the bust says they are third or fourth in the SEC and lose to Vanderbilt again in Knoxville. That's a bust season, whether you make a bowl game or not. My real question to everybody out there, and commenting in the comment section, is what is a boom season? What is a successful season? A realistic successful season. I'm not talking about going undefeated and winning a national championship. That is unrealistic. What is defined as a boom season, a successful season for Butch Jones in 2017?
All right, we'll answer that question, but first we got to tell you about the best wing place in the Nashville area, Buffalo Wings and Rings in Franklin.
Yeah, boom. There you go. 5 free wings from Buffalo Wings and Rings. Just text BWR to 36,000 and they'll hook you up. They have the best wings. Last week, I actually had peach habanero. I go hot peach habanero wings, and they are dynamite. Also, the burgers, they put onion ring on that bad boy. They've got different flavors, different sauces, great apps, and cold beer. Plus, while you're drinking your cold beer and you're draining all those wings left and right, you can be watching their 35 screens of television. So sports, you go right there for Buffalo Wings and Rings. Fresh to made, fresh to order. There it is.
Yeah, it's great stuff there. A to Z Sports. I'm Austin. He is Zach, the state of the Tennessee Volunteers. He said flux. I said boom or bust. Let's define boom for Tennessee football. Obviously, if Butch Jones is going to stick around, I think the win total in the regular season, not counting a bowl game, is 8 wins. 8 wins, and I think he's safe. That would have to include a win over Georgia Tech. They have to come out of the gates and win that game. If not, and Georgia Tech's a tricky opponent, if not, now John Curry's got his magnifying glass right over Butch Jones for the rest of the season, and it starts in week 1. Butch Jones needs to buy himself some more time by beating Georgia Tech.
So if this includes a win against Georgia Tech, does it include a win against Vanderbilt? Could they go 8-4 and lose to Vandy?
I don't think so. I don't think Butch Jones would survive with the loss of Vandy.
You think he would get fired? So
especially because
that's why it's a tough question, and that's why I posed it, is because you've got to be very defined in your answer, because 8-4 means nothing to me now.
Okay. So, but if it's 8-4, do you beat Florida at Florida? Do you beat Georgia again? Because that's the crazy part of what 2016 was for Tennessee, is you beat the 2 teams that you haven't been able to consistently beat recently, and then you lose to 2 teams who you had no business losing to in South Carolina and Vanderbilt.
But let's, for example, if you want to talk about record, would 9-3 and loses to Alabama, let's just go ahead and say that, either Florida and Georgia and Vanderbilt, is that a boom season? You lose
if
to
Butch Jones goes 9-3 and one of the losses is to Vanderbilt, as much as that would suck for Tennessee fans and for that football program, Butch Jones isn't going anywhere.
So that's a boom season. We finally found it, my
so
friend.
If you get to 9 wins, I don't care what games you lose. If you get to 9 wins, Butch Jones is sticking around.
All right, so there is the boom season defined by A to Z Sports. I agree with you because that's the direction I wanted to push you.
Yeah.
It's 9-3 because you can lose to anybody and it doesn't matter.
But
those are high expectations.
You could that's one boom season. Another boom season is if you go 8-4 and you have your losses be to Alabama, LSU, Georgia and Florida would probably be the other 2 candidates there. I mean, I think you have to beat Georgia Tech because more pressure is on Butch Jones if they lose that first game.
So you're saying if they go 8-4 and lose to the teams they're supposed to lose to.
If they go 4-4 in the SEC and lose to Florida, Georgia, I mean, that's a very small boom, but I think Butch Jones is still around.
All right, so I think that we've come to an agreement on this. I think that is what Butch Jones's expectations for success looks like, and we all, I think, know what non-success looks like is you're getting fired at the end of the season and John Curry is looking towards another coach if you don't meet these expectations that have been not only set by the higher ups of the Tennessee University, but I think the fans are very involved in this. And that is because the way Butch Jones has handled himself outside of the lines. All of the cliches that he's thrown out there really piss off the Vol fan base. It does. So if he continues to do that and loses games, they're not going to put up with it because John Curry, I don't care how much money he can raise or his job security, he does not want to be hated right out of the gates. He wants to be loved and beloved by his fans, and that is Vol Twitter and everybody involved.
And John Curry doesn't want to put up with BS cliches from Butch Jones. That's something that he does not.
I don't know his feelings. I can't say that John Curry doesn't like those.
He definitely doesn't like those because those are bad public relations things.
I don't know.
Negatives.
I don't know, Austin. I heard some cliches when he was introduced by the chancellor at that press conference.
Of course, but those cliches are going on.
He was saying the cliches.
But those cliches that John Currie put out there are cliches that matter within the program. It's like things like, I will give my all for Tennessee. I remember like the Sugar Bowls of yesteryear and Philip Fulmer winning the national championship and all that.
I'm just saying, he's a cliche guy.
Those are cliches, but those are Tennessee football cliches that people understand and are okay with. Not 5-star hearts and championship of life, where now Tennessee is the laughing stock of all of college football. That is the cliche, and those couple examples are what John Currie does not want. Because, let's face it, Vandy fans are still making fun of the championships of life and 5-star harps. That just digs at every Tennessee fan out there.
All right, so before we get out of here on this Wednesday edition of A to Z Sports, we'll be back live on Monday, live from SEC Media Days in Birmingham. Do you think that Butch Jones will say a brand new cliche this season? That's a yes or a no.
Absolutely.
And will it be taken in a negative manner?
It will be. The cliche might not be as embarrassing as Championship of Life or 5-star hearts or anything like that, but it will be taken in a way more negative manner than it would at any other football program.
I think that's fair.
All right, that's today's show. Thanks for watching this special episode of State of the Tennessee Vols. Tomorrow, Thursday, Titans Thursday, State of the Tennessee Titans. Don't miss that one. And we'll be back live from Birmingham at SEC Media Days starting on Monday. Thanks for watching.